Hey everybody, it's me again. Tuning in today, catching up because in my other video I was talking about how it's holiday season right now and definitely going to be behind with these videos and just kind of a stressful time. But I did catch Thousand Pound Sisters, not Biggest Loser, and it was season 6, episode 6, and sorry, they are all kind of blending into the other because I do watch all of these shows kind of at the same time, especially since the new seasons are coming out. And so if I accidentally say the wrong number or the wrong name, that's probably why. But I know this is season 6, episode 6, and I'm just going to jump right into it. And it starts off with Chris and the siblings, and there's just drama from the last episode where they had the dinner. Amanda announced that she's going to move to Florida with her boo, with her new boyfriend. And it was funny because they were talking about how could they put up with her, because her real side is that she's, dramatic. And she says that there's no problem. Her boyfriend can put up with her, and maybe she did already show her whole true colors, right? But, some people, when they, date the first time or when they're first meeting someone, they do kind of show a shield or a different face, like a different personality. And they kind of hide who they are. But it's kind of like everyone does that, right? But Misty was there. It was all the siblings except for Amy. I think they were all there. It was Chris, Misty, Tammy, and Amy. And they were kind of just being interviewed after the fact. And Chris was upset because he doesn't want her to move to Florida. He knows she's going to miss home and miss her siblings and everything, which is totally understandable. And Misty comments that she's just upset because every time any of them have started dating someone seriously, they always introduce them to the siblings and go from there. And that's just something they do. And they build a rapport with them and, induct them kind of into the family. Whereas this guy, they don't know anything about him. He's basically a stranger to them at this point. And they're just worried about probably what kind of person this is, and that he's just kind of taking away. And he's just kind of taking them away from them. And I feel that. I get it, but it does seem kind of nosy, like they're kind of going into her business. But it's family, right? It's family. And after that, it moves into the episode. This episode was a little more dramatic, kind of more of a filler kind of thing. But it's basically centered on Amy mainly, and Tammy. They go out for girls' night out. They get a limo. And in the beginning, Amy cleans out her house because apparently in their family, hoarding is rampant. Like, hoarding runs in their family, basically. And Amy comments that her mom, her grandma, most of their family hoarded. And it's definitely something that is learned and can be passed down to, your daughters or your sons. I totally relate to her because when she brought the family over to help her clean out her house and stuff and do like spring cleaning. And I relate to her because her stuff, she was going through her stuff and we're trying to throw things away. And she finds these little baby things and little toys and stuff. And she's telling them, no, don't throw them away. Please, don't throw them away. Because, you get attached to these things and it's like, it's emotional and they're never going to wear it again. It's like, say it's like your baby's booties from when they were 1 or their shoes. They're never going to wear them again. But you want to hold on to them. There's just something in you that wants to hold on to everything and remember every moment and every memory, and you don't want to forget it, right? But also it's important to let go of things too, because if you don't, it can become a problem, especially in this case, holding on to every toy, every outfit, every pair of shoes. you run out of space quickly in your house, and then it becomes a problem to hoarding where there's just stuff everywhere and it's out of control. So it was kind of funny because Chris was helping them out, and he said he wanted an x-ray to see their lazy bones because they after one room, they basically kind of just stopped doing anything, and they were sitting around the table just gabbing it up and talking. And Chris was like, well, I'm going to start a new room. And he was kind of the only one working, and that was just funny to me. But, sometimes you need a break, right? Like one room at a time, I think is good, but he wanted to be ambitious and get more done. But yeah, I just kind of connected that. As far as, reaching your goals and stuff, it's kind of similar to that, where you do have to let go of bad habits. Like in my case, it's become a bad habit where I think a lot of people do it is when after dinner they got to have something sweet, right? It just becomes this ingrained habit, and it becomes emotional to where you just have to have it. If you don't have it, you miss it. It's emotional attachment, like this warm feeling you get like, oh, it's my dessert after my meal, and it shouldn't be. And it's hard to break. I still have that problem to this day, especially on weekends, or if I'm at like a big family gathering or a holiday thing or something with friends where it's like automatic. You have to have something sweet or something, wholesome and warm afterwards, like a pie or I don't know. And it's also like that with alcohol. It's like a social thing where you get attached to it, where you're drinking with friends or whatever, and then suddenly you have to have it every time, and it should not be like that. So it's just this kind of, the hoarding thing, it kind of reminded me of that. And it's something you just got to break and create a different thing, create something new in its place, right? So instead of having a dessert, have tea. Like that's what I've been doing, like, or coffee, instead of like this whole calorie thing after dinner, have a nice warm coffee or a hot tea or something just to kind of relax and, go on your phone, look at stuff or, read a book or, things like that, and make it emotional in that way too and create new memories. So I'm starting to ramble again on that, but the episode continues and Amy and Tammy plan this girls' night thing, which the other siblings, they think it's hilarious. And they talk about them behind their back pretty much. And they say that, whenever they're together, they do something, there's something drama happens, or they do nasty things, or they fart, or they kicked out kind of thing. So, it was kind of a premonition ahead of time of what was going to happen. So the limo comes for Tammy and Amy. And it's a nice limo, and the driver, oh my gosh, the driver, he had to kind of put up with them, but he was really great. He was friendly and nice, and it was, he put up with their farting and everything. I don't know if I could. Amy kind of goes a little crazy. They find this charcuterie board, which they call a charcuterie board. And Amy finds this sausage, which I don't want to say too much about, but she's kind of comparing it to things, if you know what I mean. And she even shows the driver, and this kind of ticks off Tammy already. And Tammy's like, you're so immature, stop. And she's like, just stop. I don't know, in past seasons, Tammy has kind of been immature with Amy, and it's kind of like this back and forth they do. And it's something that they cause each other to laugh and stuff. So I found it kind of weird that Tammy was so against it in this episode, and she was kind of just like, you're immature, stop. Maybe Tammy is matured as she loses weight, but I really think it's the public aspect of it, because when I think about it, in the other seasons, they were like kind of at home, and when, they would joke around like this, they weren't in public around other people. Of course, they do YouTube videos, and, a lot of people are watching those, so that's kind of weird in that case that she would get so upset about in public. Of course, in public is way different than YouTube as well, because you're there with these people. So, I don't know. I kind of see both sides on this. Amy's probably used to being a certain way with Tammy, and she wants to recapture that feeling and that fun and the laughter, and having Tammy lash out at her is upsetting her too. So Tammy manages to hold it though, in this case. and they just move on. They drive to where they're going. They went to a burlesque dance. I guess it's like teaching you how to dance burlesque, which, oh my gosh, it was a little shocking to me. I mean, I knew to expect something crazy, but it looks fun. I would probably do it, but I wouldn't want to do it with close family. I'd want to do it probably by myself or, with someone who I know is kind of into it. So I can see Tammy being uncomfortable as totally legitimate. But the teacher, she is a rock star. They did had to blur her a bit because she was scantily clad. Because it was weird because Tammy got all upset because Amy just takes her pants off, and that's a whole other thing. Amy was showing off all her, they're like shorts, but also underwear at the same time. And she has different ones, and she was showing the interviewer her other pair, which said Queen or something on it. But Tammy was completely uncomfortable with that, and Amy kicks off her pants, and she's like, I feel like I'm overdressed. And it was true. All the other classmates were kind of skimpy outfits, right? I mean, it's a burlesque class. So it did kind of seem, I don't know, weird that Tammy lashed out at her in that moment as well. She was like, no one wants to see that nasty kind of thing. But, that's why they're there, right? They're all there to do burlesque dancing and be scantily clad. So, in that case, I'm on Amy's side. But the teacher comes in and she's even less dressed than everyone else. She's wearing like straight up underwear, and they did have to blur it. And she was awesome though. She was great. She was friendly. She commented kind of similar thing that Tammy was reserved, and she made a point that I didn't think about was that Tammy doesn't trust her body still, because Tammy is used to being like 700 pounds, right? She does not trust her legs to hold her probably still. She doesn't trust herself to move certain ways and dance certain ways. And the teacher was trying to kind of encourage her and pull out that side of her, right? But it was great. It was really funny to see them all dance. And, Amy, she has some moves in her. She's definitely got the personality. The other classmates were commenting that she has the right confidence for it and she should definitely pursue it. I definitely agree. She was great. She was all into it. And it was just so wholesome. So that part was wholesome. But of course, it's a reality show, right? And things can't always end happily. They go back in the limo and Tammy ends up getting upset again. I think Amy farts and stuff. She makes some kind of comment. I don't remember exactly. To the driver or something. And that sets Tammy off, and Tammy freaks out. She says she's disgusting, and she says just stop. And that makes Amy upset because, Amy's just trying to have a good time, right? Like, that's the point of a girls' night, is to have a good time and have fun. But Tammy's just so, I don't know, rigid or reserved, or I don't know. But it turns into this big blow up. In the other side, the other siblings go bowling. I didn't talk much on that. Not much happens. They talk about the move to Florida, and they confirm that it's all set already, which Chris is upset about because Amanda mentions that she's got her apartment already set up in Florida and she is going no matter what. And they're going to try, I know, to convince her not to go. Chris mentions that he knows she's going to miss her family and he has to convince her to stay. And it's kind of a drama in that sense because, Amanda's going to blow up no matter what. If they try to force her to stay or something, she's her own independent person. She can do what she wants to do, right? But yeah, the episode was mainly kind of dramatic and they didn't focus so much on their goals in this episode. Except I did skip a part. Now that I think about it, they did all go to the gym. Well, it was just Chris, Misty, Tammy, I believe. They went to the gym because Chris is definitely focused on getting his weight loss surgery now because the new doctor said that he needs to lose only 20 to 30 pounds instead of like the 50 plus that the other doctor just said. And Tammy did mention she was disappointed she wasn't approved, but she kind of just went along with it, and she went to the gym with them. She got over her, upset moment, which is a good thing to practice. When something bad happens to you, we can have our moment to mourn or our moment to be upset, right? But we cannot let it take over our lives and run our lives, right? Too much. Easier said than done, I know. But they did go to the gym, so I am throwing that in there. They went to the gym. They had a blast with it. They were making fun of each other. I thought it was just so sweet. It reminded me of the episode of Biggest Loser that I was talking about, where they were just having fun, playing in the mud and laughing, like kind of like they're kids again. And I just love these moments for them where they're having a blast and they're working out at the same time. They were lifting weights. They were making fun of Misty because she had the lightest weights, which totally would be me. I go for the lightest weights every time because I don't want to injure myself, And it was just so wholesome, that part. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But the whole dramatic thing, it is entertaining. And, reality show's going to put the negative parts up because those get the views, right? But I enjoy, the wholesome moments as well and the sweet moments and when they reach their goals and they have success. But, it was a good episode overall. We're going to have to wait and see what happens as far as Amanda and her move for the next episode, which I will review next because I'm behind. And sorry if you noticed, I am sniffling again. I think I have some kind of cough or cold. I have allergies on and on, so I'm sorry about that. But I have rambled on a lot. These videos are kind of always around 20 minutes, but that's pretty much the gist of the whole episode. We'll see what happens. And I hope you have a motivating day. I hope you have a great day. I hope you make it positive. If it's not positive, I'm sorry. I have those days. I have those rough days, and today might be one of those rough days. But I'm going to handle it. I'm going to take it one day at a time, and hopefully tomorrow will be a much better day, a much more, I don't know how to describe that, but a better day, basically. And I'm going to make today positive, even though it's going to be stressful. Sorry, I'm sniffling. So, have a good one. Happy goal getting. Talk to you later.